Hello everyone, Space Toyster here, and welcome back to Boletaria. In the last part, we slayed the Archdemons in every Archstone except the first, or world I should say, and in this one, we will be returning to the Boletarian Palace to finish things off. Inside Boletaria's gates, where the streets intertwine, lies a trap set by the Fat Official, an embodiment of old King Alant's madness. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, here we are. So we're starting off our third world of Boletaria. Oh, right, and I wanted to show off the Ring of Sincere Prayer, said to have once been found by a young sixth Saint Estrella as one of the revelations of God. So this is a very neat ring because its casting animation should look very familiar. Let me show you. We can praise the sun. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it'll boost the casting time and power of miracles, so it could be handy, but generally it might take a bit too long, but it should be just long enough that you might be able to pull off a spell or two in a tight spot. But it might be worth using as well, since the only miracle you might want to use in an offensive situation would be Wrath of God. So if you're not really using that, then it should be a worthwhile thing to equip? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, this guy was the one who set the trap for us. He sicked the Tower Knight and all those archers on us. It was a bit overkill. It seemed like a bit much. Well, let's just follow him. Okay, anyway. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Maiden Estrella, since I didn't get a chance to in the last part, considering how short that boss fight was. But, so let's go over a few of the things that I missed or wasn't able to talk about. So, well, actually, one of the main things I missed regarding Maiden Estrella is that, I didn't encounter the NPCs that do mention and talk about her. If you talk to Saint Urbane, he should mention that there are rumors going about of Maiden Estrella losing her way, and he dismisses them as slander. And then, let's see. Roar. Let's see, and then the Filthy Woman, she can also mention Maiden Estrella. She has a very negative view of Estrella, since before Maiden Estrella came around, everyone in the Valley of Defilement thought she was the bee's knees, but since Maiden Estrella showed up, no one pays attention to the Filthy Woman anymore, so she doesn't really care for Estrella. It's because of that. Oh, lag. Okay. Oh, and that was just a slave's shield. They tricked me. Anyway. So, yeah, I think those were the only NPCs that mention Estrella, but since they keep bringing her up in regards to the Valley of Defilement, in the case of the Filthy Woman, it's rather neat that they continuously talk about her even when it's possible that, or rather, they keep talking about her and referencing the fact that she's there, at least still in Boletaria and alive, and likely in the Valley of Defilement, considering, the Filthy Woman talks about her, and that's where all the Holy Knights are. Right, let's see, what was next? Oh, right. So a player who is more aware that of Maiden Estrella's existence, they might assume that they're going to encounter her at some point, but I don't think that it's necessarily expected for her to be the Archdemon. So that is neat. And then another thing that comes up in regards to Estrella, on item descriptions or spell descriptions probably, is that her soul is often referred to as the most impure of all the demon souls. And there are two possible explanations. One of them is more likely to be real than the other. So the wrong possible explanation, I suppose I should start with, is that Maiden Estrella became corrupted as a demon because the people in the Valley of the Defilement started worshipping her. I think the first Archstone mentioned that the that the people there would kill incoming travelers and then offer their souls to Astraea herself. But and so since she didn't tell them to stop doing that, it paints her in a sort of negative light, considering. And then there's also the fact that they do in fact worship her like a god, rather than her teaching them to worship the god that she worships. So a horde of foes ahead. Oh no. Oh right, yeah. So we got to be careful here. That guy will kick down a boulder. If you're lucky, it'll kill the assassin who is hiding on the left. Fun stuff. Fun stuff indeed. Or indeed. So the assassins in this part of the level are very tricky to deal with. They all have the thieves' ring equipped, so you won't be able to detect them until they're right on top of you. Or until you get very close. So that is one thing to constantly worry about. And then they can also backstab and parry you, so that's another thing to keep in mind while fighting them. Yeah, it's just a tedious affair. Beware of the enemy's ambush. Yes, be very wary of the enemy's ambush. Let's see. And then other things to I didn't even notice what that was. Okay. Let's see, and then, what else was I gonna say about Astraea? Oh, right, yeah, so Astraea was being worshipped as a god because of all the, because of how much she was helping the people of the Valley of Defilement. So it could be that's why she's called the most impure, or why her soul is the most impure. But the more likely and possible explanation is that Astraea used the power she obtained by becoming a demon to assist the people of the Valley of Defilement. So she was trying to make the valley a much better place to live by taking all the impurities of the swamp into herself and essentially trying to cleanse the swamp of all the filth that it was accumulating because people kept throwing their shit away there. So that is the most likely explanation, because then another NPC you can run into, I haven't encountered her yet, she only shows up when your world tendency is pure white, she can mention that the swamp feels somehow more serene, despite the fact that it's still a poison-infested swamp. So that's likely Astraea's presence, where she's been draining out the impurities and taking them into herself. Yeah, although it is nice that she was able to maintain a more pristine look rather than getting...
Ah, we meet again. Fancy that. Hope you find something that suits you.
Rather than getting more corrupted because of the stuff she was taking in. Like Beto and then that other knight who got turned into the...
He's gone mad like the rest of them. But perhaps he was mad in the first place. I can never tell with those eccentric royal oafs.
Like with the...
I'm sure you'll turn things...
Yeah, like with the Leechmonger and Dirty Colossus. Let's see, and then one other thing to keep in mind with... Wait, no, I completely forgot what I was going to keep it... the one thing I was going to keep in mind, so I guess don't worry about it. Oh, right, here. Here is a perfect example of how weird the hitboxes can be in the Souls games when it comes to walls. As you can see, my arrows are getting stuck in mid-air. Yeah, very funny. Very, very funny. Of course, that means these guys are probably not all that threatening because they can't shoot you, or more likely their crossbows will clip through the hitbox. Let's see. Oh, right, and then one thing I should mention about Storm Ruler, the Archdemon in the Shrine of Storms, is that his soul can be turned into a very, very interesting weapon that you might want to consider making. The weapon that can be made with his soul is called the Morian Blade, and like the Clever Rat's Ring, what it will do is it'll boost the damage you deal when you're below 30% of your health. I think the 30% is the magic number to reach. So So you can equip the Morian Blade and keep it in your offhand, and then also equip the Clever Rat's Ring, and that will stack all the damage boosting effects in one go. It can be quite overpowering, and it makes very low HP builds a very very strong option in Demon's Souls. It is a pretty big sword, though, so if you're going to go with that, you want to be able to manage the sword, or manage your equip load when you have that sword equipped. Hey, those guys are surprisingly weak. Well, that's good. But then again, I'm probably only cutting through them like butter because I've got this sword upgraded as much as I can. It's only the basic upgrade path, so it's not as strong as I could have gotten it, but it's strong enough, and that's all that matters. Let's see, and was there anything else I wanted to say about it? Astraea? I think I mentioned all the stuff, like the important stuff that I don't think I'm going to be able to talk about. But yeah, she's definitely one of my favorite bosses in the Souls series, just for how heavily lore-based and interesting her encounter is. Because I don't know of any other bosses that are so anticlimactic as Maiden Astraea. Like, she won't fight you herself, unless you go out of your way to fabricate that scenario. To do that, you'd have to get past Garl Vinland and then go attack her without killing him. Alright, so I'm going to shoot this guy so that way he pushes the boulder. Let's see. Oh, right. That was one more thing I wanted to mention about the Maiden Astraea fight, is that it is actually possible to kill her before Garl Vinland, and if you kill one of them without damaging the other, then the survivor will kill themselves out of grief. So if I had attacked Maiden Astraea without harming Vinland, without harming Garl Vinland, then yeah, he would have committed suicide himself, just like Astraea did for me. And the way to do that with Astraea is that you go right at the you go right and you find yourself a sniper's perch that overlooks her, overlooks where she's sitting, and then you just continuously shoot her to death. But if you try to fight them both at once, then you're in a for rude awakening, and Garl becomes extremely hostile if you sneak around him. Let's see. This is, the penetrating sword. Let's check that out. A long straight sword used by the Penetrator, one of the heroes of Boletaria. As the name states, its thrusts are especially powerful. Because of its irregular size for a straight sword, its use requires great strength and dexterity. Yeah, so 22 strength and 16 dexterity, although the 22 strength is to one-hand the sword. If you want to use it with two hands and don't care about a shield, then the strength requirement is lower. I'm not exactly sure how much lower, but lower. Let's see. And then, yeah, if you end up trying to fight both Astraea and Garl Vinland at the exact same time, then that turns them into a very difficult encounter. Because Garl will keep attacking you, and Astraea, when she's hostile, she will either use Wrath of God, she'll continuously spam that, and then she'll also heal herself if she whenever she gets the opportunity. That can make sniping her very difficult, and I'm pretty sure she's also immune to poison and plague, so you can't inflict a status condition and just wait for her to die like you could do with some other bosses. So, yeah, dealing with Astraea before Garl Vinland tends to be very difficult, but if you're not good at parrying, then it is worth considering getting a bow and sniping at her. Let's see here. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? No, that should finally be everything about Maiden Astraea. We've been going through this whole level, and I've spent more of it talking about a boss in a different part of the world that we've already defeated than this level. And this is actually a very interesting level. I remember my first playthrough of Demon's Souls. I figured I needed to clear the Boletarian Palace first since it was World 1. But so when I ran into that colorless deep fog, I went into Stonefang Tunnel to get an Archdemon soul as soon as I could, and then came immediately back here and did this level shortly after killing Dragon God. It was very difficult, as I'm sure you can imagine. I was using magic, and magic is broken in this game, since magic, since there's no minimum requirement for magic, investing in magic does is boost the damage you deal, so that is very, very handy. Let's see, anyway, we could, what's the approach here? Well, you know what, let's go around this way. Ooh, what's this? Full moon grass, yay! Let's see, and then... let's see. Oh, right, let's see. One thing I wanted to actually talk about that I've been forgetting is that, that one of those fat officials we killed, actually it's the only one we've killed so far, he dropped a ring of iron keys. That is a very, very useful item, and we can use it in the second part of the, Boletarian Palace, so, actually very close to the Tower Knight's Archstone. And this guy, he is...
Soul-starved soldiers are after me. In the name of all that is sacred, please open...
Oh, I didn't get to let him finish his line, but yeah, Ostrava is in need of our help again.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Where are you going? There are 3 of them. You expect me to handle them all by myself? Good grief. Ow. Ow. Yeah, so fighting multiple enemies in Dark and Demon's Souls can be a very tedious affair because their attacks will often start to layer. So this only safe way to deal with multiple enemies is to just keep your distance, wait for them to all use an attack pattern that leaves them all open simultaneously, and then swipe at them once or twice. Ugh. So that makes that encounter very tedious.
You saved my life. This is the 3rd time I am truly indebted to you. This is all I have. But please accept it. Now, I must go. My father, the king, awaits me just over there.
Oh. So, yeah, he's definitely not keeping it a secret that he's the Prince of Boletaria. Yet, one thing I heard about is that he's actually going by... Oh, hold on. Fat ministers who appeared just before demons ran rampant in Boletaria and integrated themselves with King Allant oppressed the masses with sly grins. This hat is said to have been resented by the masses as a hateful reminder of them. Oh, right. So, yeah, we do get a fat official's cap, and Iron Ring of Keys. They all look the same. Okay. So, yeah, the fat official's cap, that is something that we do need to wear in order to rescue an NPC. I believe we go this way. It appears to be locked. Not this way, then. Okay. Well, if I don't need the hat on yet, then I'll go ahead and, take it off. Anyway, yeah, so since we saved Ostrava, he's just going to walk back to where he was hiding and then towards, down those stairs and then back up. So he should be safe, hopefully, as long as he doesn't try and make it towards the boss door, because that is a very dangerous boss corridor, as it were. Alright, so let's pop some more grass. Ooh, half moon grass. Yay! Okay, anyway. Yeah, the iron keys unlocks this door here that we could have encountered long ago, and it is, I would highly recommend, especially if you want to make things easier on yourself, that you come down here before going towards the boss in part 3. Because there is an NPC you can rescue here that will make things easier on yourself. Oh look, another fat official. Yeah, so they usually wield those heavy axes, but the ones in Stonefang Terminal, if you'll remember, they usually carried whips. So the whip, when used by a fat official, it deals significantly less damage, but it will reduce your stamina a lot more when you block it. So the fat officials with the whips could be potentially more deadly.
Who goes there? You killed that vile insect and saved me. I am called Bior, the elder of the twin fangs of Boletaria. I thank you. You deserve a handsome reward. Only I have none. Go on ahead. I shall sleep a while.
Well, that is a very familiar habit. Anyway, yeah, Bior, he will assist you with the upcoming boss fight. So if you want a little extra help and completely free of charge, rescue him first, and he'll come along to make things even easier for you. And then he's also, or I guess you could say he was the inspiration for Siegward of Katarina, and then Siegmeyer in Dark Souls 1 and 3. A jolly knight who has a habit of falling asleep on you. Ooh, the tower shield. I believe that is an interesting item. We should check it out. Let's see. Here we go. A gigantic shield used by one of the Boletarian heroes, the Tower Knight. It is said to repel all kinds of malice, but it is tremendously heavy and difficult to handle. It is considered the largest of the known types of shields. I've always wanted to do a playthrough where I focus on using a great shield like the Tower Knight's shield, but I never get around to it because, well, most shields are really, really heavy. They require a huge strength investment, and then to top it all off, you also have to have the equipment, burden to be able to use it, or the equip load. Anyway. Oh, I forgot to make a joke with Bior. Oh well. The joke was just going to be, you're a handsome reward by yourself, mister. But, it's a bit late for that. Oh well. Anyway. Now that we got the Bloody Iron Key, we can also go this way, and with our Fat Official's cap equipped, we can explore over here. So let us see what's over this direction. Oh my gosh. This is a long tunnel indeed. They really put this out of the way. But this is also a very worthwhile spot to visit, because there is another important NPC for us to rescue. Let's see, and what else was I going to say? Oh, right, and Bior, if you remember the opening cutscene, he is one of the two brothers. There is Bior and Valorfax of the Twin Fangs. Valorfax, it is likely that he was killed. We can find the armor that Bior was wearing, and we can find that in a very specific place. And then that obviously indicates that Valorfax was killed and put in that place. Anyway, you need to wear the Fat Official's cap, because if you don't have that on, then that guy doesn't drop the stairs. But once you put it on, he assumes you're another one and drops it.
You came to save me. Thank you. No, I'm fine. With a little rest, I can soon walk.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Go on ahead. I do not wish to be a dead weight.
Yeah, so that is Carla. She is, she refers to herself as a witch, and she specifically calls the magic she does witchcraft. How it differs from the magic that Sage Frake does, I have no idea. But she does indicate that what she does is different compared to Sage Frake. But Carla herself, she ends up being another vendor for spells. You can give her demon souls, and she'll be able to turn them into spells, just like Sage Frake. Unlike Sage Frake, there is no magic requirement. Carla will be happy to assist you no matter what your magic stat is. But the balance, I suppose, is that she only works with demon souls. She won't sell you regular spells. For those, you need to get 10 magic and get them from either Sage Frake or his apprentice, if you haven't rescued the Sage yet. Anyway, yeah, I do feel bad that I didn't invest in any magic to at least show off the Sage Frake and as a vendor, but I suppose that's okay. Magic builds are very, very overpowered in Demon Souls. If you're playing it for the first time, I highly recommend trying out magic for your first playthrough. Magic is just so broken in this game, so it should make things very easy for you to handle. That's, of course, assuming you want to make it as easy as possible for yourself. If you don't, then go with almost any other build and stick mostly to melee. That'll make things more difficult. Here we go. Illusion? That's not an illusion. You lied to me, message. I can't believe you would do that. Although that does actually remind me of a thing about the messaging system that I've heard and would like to bring up now. It's that Miyazaki put the messaging system in because he wanted Demon Souls to be a return to a time where the internet didn't exist. So the only way to get assistance with the game would be to ask your friends or to figure it out yourself. And the messaging system is an attempt to reflect that. The idea being that all the help you need to get through the game would appear as player messages on the ground. And I'm just going to be a coward and shoot these guys from a distance, because I don't want to have to deal with all of them simultaneously. Anyway, so the idea with the messaging system is that you rely on it rather than looking online for a guide. There are a lot of things with Demon Souls you will really want a guide for, such as character and world tendency, but otherwise you can get through this game just fine by, you should be able to get through this game just fine by playing it and reading messages if you want hints. Oh, there was an item over there and I completely forgot about it. That's right, you better run away, whoever you are. I wonder if that was the guy who dropped the gate on us and forced us to go around, or if that is a completely different one. It's tough to tell. They all look the same. Anyway, those 3 knights there, they're the reason this boss approach is extremely difficult. Engaging all 3 of them at once is probably one of the most difficult things you can do in Demon Souls. Probably not the most difficult. I think there's a few other things that are definitely tougher than that. Like fighting that Black Phantom, that Black Phantom with the butcher's knife in the Valley of Defilement. But these guys are definitely going to give you a run for your money. If you fight them all at once, that is. Because they can be very damaging, and since they got spears, their range is quite large. Of course, you could just run right past them. As long as you don't get hit, you're good. And that guy seemed a lot more defensive than the others. Maybe that was an attempt to make them manageable in melee only, since the other 2 were more aggressive. But then again, I did shoot the other 2. Anyway, this boss run actually gets referenced back in Dark Souls 3. It's not the same, but Dark Souls 3 has a very similar boss run before the Twin Princes. Wait, really? Is the boss just gonna be this fat official? Oh, that's so disappointing.
Do you need some help? By the honor of the good knights,
So, yeah, this is the Penetrator. So it makes me wonder if that is his title or his name, because the penetrating sword we found called him the Penetrator as well, and it specifically referred to a knight. But the Penetrator, he's actually a pretty easy encounter. His attacks are well telegraphed and easy to dodge. That one there, where he thrusts the sword, that can grab and impale you, just like he did that fat official, and then he'll throw you around. It makes the fact that all these statues are destructible very satisfying, because it just gives it such a visceral effect. But yeah, as you can see, Bior showed up to help us out with this boss fight. He will do that automatically as long as he's been rescued. Do be careful, though. It is very easy to get friendly fire on him. So make sure you're very, very careful if you when you're fighting. But yeah, Bior helped us out. Oh, how lovely.
One more demon down!
And he's jovial. He's very jovial, just like Sigurd.
What back there? Then again, how could a demon ever stand up to a bona fide knight? Now you go on ahead. I must be getting older. I need some rest.
Yes, he literally just fell asleep on the spot. That's why I love Bior. Anyway, we got the Silver Demon Soul, and I'm gonna go ahead and call that here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.